Hello class and welcome back. In this set of videos we're going to be going through how to work with different graphics and how to get effects like transparency and clipping masks and how to use those elements inside of InDesign. So be sure that you have your poster.indd open from the last video, and we're going to go through and start on page 445. So hopefully you have been able to get this done and get everything in here and set up as needed. So to get started, we're actually going to add a graphic into our gradient background here. To do that, we're going to go to File. We're going to go to Object, Content, and Graphic. And you can see now that we have this X through here, and this just denotes that the content for this box is a graphic and not just a straight shape anymore. And now we're going to go to File, Place, or Command D if you want to use your shortcut, and we're going to make sure that we select the sunset.jpg folder from our InDesign work in progress folder. Alright, so we can hit open, and you can see that we have our item in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this to the top of our frame, and we're going to go ahead and come in here a little bit and make sure that this is set up correctly and that we're looking at the full image. Alright, so now we have that set. You can see that we have this up here, but now we kind of want to play with it and add some transparency and try to give it some visual interest. So to do that, we're going to make sure that it is selected, and we're going to go to Window and Effects. This opens up our effects box. So you can see in here that if I click around, there are a couple different things that come up. One, you can see that I have the object, which is just nothing. This is our default. Then I have the graphic, which I've selected here, and then I can double select to click on the graphic. So now you can see that this graphic has a normal 100% blend. You'll notice again if we click on the object itself and show the gradient box that this changes, and we also have a stroke and fill, but we do want to make sure that we are selected on just the photo. To make this transparent, what we're going to do is, one, we're going to make sure the graphic is set correctly, and then we're going to double click on our content grabber, and again to do that just come over here where it says graphic, double click, and we're going to change our mode for basic blending to screen. And let's turn on preview so you can see what's going on here. So you can see once I've chosen the screen, it now blends into the background, but it kind of gives us this this hard edge at the bottom, and we want to make sure we get rid of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit OK. And now that we see this, again, I'll back out. So you can see we have this real hard line at the bottom. So make sure your graphic is selected again, and then come down here and select your FX button or your effects button, and we're going to go down to gradient feather. So we're going to come all the way down to gradient feather. We're going to move this out of the way so you can kind of see what's going on, and we're going to make sure that our angle field is -90 and our linear field is set there, and we are also going to change the stop and make it a lot harsher by moving that black up. And you can see now that we've got our full screen image here, but if we go ahead and click OK to save this effect, we have now have a nice thin, nice borderless blend into our background. And again, I'm going to come in here to the effects panel and just kind of show you again what's going on. What we've done is basically a gradient feather allows us to fade out parts of an image or graphic using a gradient as a template. And so here we have a black to white gradient, and just like Photoshop, anything that's black shows, anything that is white does not. We can also see that we have an opacity of 0 here, so we are literally facing going from a hard stop here with the black set at 100% to a 0% opacity white stop to fade it completely out. If I did come in here and bump up the opacity, you can see how that changes our graphic a little bit and gives us that harsh effect. So we just want to make sure that's set to 0. Under types, we can do linear or we can do radial. Radial just makes it more like a spherical blur or spherical feather, but we do want to make sure we stay with linear on this one to get the effect we're looking for. So just hit OK. And there you have it. We now have a image that has been faded nicely into our frame. Alright, so now we've added this in here. We have our sunset. And now we're actually going to work with creating a kind of an odd graphics frame. So just like this background image is a graphics frame, we're about to create one that's not a standard shape like a rectangle or a sphere. To do that, first we're going to make sure that the sunset image is selected, which we have. And now we're going to go to File, Place, and we're going to make sure we click the Jazzman outline. So you can see we have the silhouette here. So I'm going to click Open, and it's taking its moment to import, and you can see, our item goes away. So I'm going to Command Z that real quick, just again to show you what's going on. We have our sunset picture. We're going to click on it. We're going to go to File, Place. We're going to make sure that this Replace Selected Item is selected, and we're going to select this Jazzman outline. And you can kind of see the top of the jazz guy right here, but it's kind of hard to see. And what we've done is we've actually replaced our sunset image with our gradient feather with this silhouetted image that you can't really see. But now you can tell at least the sunset image is no longer in the frame. So we're going to undo this one more time. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go to File, Place this in, Open, then Command Z, and now you can see that we have this framed silhouette that we kind of move around the file and place it wherever we need to. So we're going to just come over here and just click it once, and you can see now it has created its own image frame. So what we're going to use is we're going to use the control panel up here, like we've done before, to move our item. We're going to change X to 1, which it was already set as. We're going to change Y to 11. And what this does is this moves our... I moved the wrong corner here, so we're going to change that again. Make sure that your bottom left corner is set as your reference point. Again, to change your reference points, just go here. You can see we have our top left, or we have our top middle, or top right, centered, and then we're going to do bottom left. So make sure bottom left is set as your reference point, and you can see mine set right there. We're going to change X to 1 inch, and we're going to change Y to 11 inches. And you can see it moves it right on top of our sunset. Alright, so now using the selection tool, we're going to click the content grabber over here, and we're going to double click and make sure we see just our graphic. And now we're going to right click, or double tap if you're on your Mac, or right click if you're on PC. And we're going to go down to let's see. I'm not seeing what I need to see right there, so we're going to get out of that real quick, and we're going to go to Object, Clipping Path, and then Options. Now I'm going to turn on the preview panel so you can kind of see what's going on here. And we're going to switch our type to Detect Edges. And let's see. We're going to do the Include Inside Edges section. And we're going to make sure that our threshold is set to 25, our tolerance is set to 2, and now we're going to hit OK. And now we're going to go to Object, Clipping Path, and convert Clipping Path to Frame. Alright, so now if we come out here and get rid of this object, you can see we are left with the frame that we need here to continue our project. And what this has done is this has actually created a custom path, and you can see how you actually have the shape of the saxophone and the jazz player. Alright, so now that we've got everything in here, we're going to use the selection tool, and we're going to go ahead and grab this frame, and we're going to go to File and Place. And we're going to select to palms.jpg, and we're going to make sure this replace selected item is not checked. We're going to hit Open. And you can see it gives us this little thumbnail, and we're actually going to click inside the frame. And now you can see how we have, I'm going to click my W key real quick. Now you can see how we have this custom image inside of this custom frame and the kind of visual impact that we have. At this point, do make sure that you save your file. We definitely don't want the progress that we've made so far. And we want to make sure that we grab the image that we have in here. And we are going to go to the content grabber over here again. And using the control panel, we're going to make sure we have top left selected. And we're going to change the X value to negative 0.25. And we're going to change the Y position to negative 0.25 to make sure our image shows correctly. All right. And what we're going to do is with the frame selected here, which you can see I have selected with the blue box, we're going to press the up arrow key just a little bit. And I actually skipped a step earlier. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure our content box here is set at 10.5 inches. So we're going to make sure we do that here. Set our height. I'm going to set that height to 10.5, and then we're going to use our frame tool. By selecting this, we're just going to hit the down arrow until it is aligned with the bottom edge. And this for you should mean that your X coordinate is about at 1.159 inches and your Y coordinate is about at 3.7671 inches with your top left selected. Do make sure as well to bump it to select your jazz player and move him to the left just a touch. Make sure he's lined up. And almost there. And there we go. So now we have our jazz player, we have our field in the background with our gradient color, we have our custom frame set up, and we're ready to continue to the next stage of the project. Where in the next stage we'll be mainly working with typography and playing with different type elements inside of InDesign. And we will continue on in the next video.